Thank you for tuning in on Coppen with Comic. I'm Brian Koppen. We're here with Comic Manny Cruz. Manny Cruz, how the hell are you?
I'm doing good. How the hell are you?
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for coming on and let me know. I follow you online. You're Manny Cruz, Manny as in the body part, and Cruz as in Tom Cruise, but you are Manny Cruz, C-R-U-Z, and you're Manny Cruz at both Twitter and Instagram, and you and Tom Crescenzo do slam comedy.
Yes, sir. That's right.
You got a big show. You got a big show coming up. Slam or Treat. Was that Slam or Treat 11 or Slam or Treat 2 Roman numeral?
Roman numeral.
Nice. And then how did Slam or Treat 1 go?
It went really well. We did it at the Brooklyn House of Comedy where we were producing shows, just solely there prior to COVID hitting. And I guess we just wanted to follow the same sequence of shows, going into whatever shit we're dealing with today. And it felt kind of cool to kind of bring it back, but makes me want to change the Roman numerals into an actual number now.
They're like, man, people think it's number 11. And then, so this one's going to be outdoors?
This one's going to be outdoors, yes.
It's going to be there on Long Island, or would you call it Trash Island before the pod?
Long Island trash, yeah, that's what I call it. We're all the scum of the earth here. If you think Staten Island is bad, Long Island is just a level up. Just go to Smithtown. No, this one's going to be in Brooklyn, in Bushwick.
Okay, and then are you kind of DMing people the location at the last second?
I mean, it's a week from now, but I usually tell my personal friends, and I'm like, hey, look, I would rather just give this ticket to you for free if you want to come out and chill, have something new to do. And, thankfully, I feel like that response has been pretty strong. Like, I feel kind of weird going out of my way to talk to people that I don't know and be like, hey, look, this is but yeah, I've done it all. Like I've done like printouts of posters that we had and went around Brooklyn when it wasn't COVID, and I just told people about it. And then the poster itself would be like, it's 10 or 15 bucks. But at the door, I'd usually just be like, all right, give me 5. And, hopefully, they get the right experience for the price that they pay.
Yeah.
That's all that matters to me.
And then, I see the show poster. Is that Scooby-Doo characters in blackface?
They're not blackface.
Is it reggae characters? What the fuck is it? They're darker than normal.
Exactly. Like we're pretty much flipping the script. Like the host is Christiana Jackson. Yeah. So we're like, okay, let's give her the Velma, and then this dude, Cornelio, is actually a drummer. Really cool drummer. He usually does everything in the streets of New York, at parks, at you name it, he's there. He's just hitting a snare drum. So he's Shaggy. And, I asked all the comedians, I asked both of them if they would be okay with being a Scooby-Doo character while, Tom and I are Scooby-Doo and Scrappy ourselves. If you look at Scooby, it doesn't even look like Scooby. It looks like Scooby just had like a huge crack binge and has 5 o'clock shadow. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, and then you got John Listman on there, and you got you and Tom are taking spots, and then Christiana Jackson is host, and she's a pretty big name now, man. She's rocking all the shows.
I look up to her. She's amazing. Like anytime I've ever seen her, she's always made me stomach laugh. So I felt like it has to be her who hosts. She'll rock it out for sure.
How are you choosing the comics that are on this show? Do they have a particular point of view, or are they just badass comics?
I like to think that, if you reach out to me and we have like a good conversation first and I get to know who you are, I feel as though that like gives me an idea of how, other people's personalities can kind of function together and kind of produce like a certain flow. And as of late, it's been working out. I like kind of pairing people up in the same shows with their friends, people that they know. And then, it kind of becomes like a little nuclear family for just that time frame. And then nice. I feel as though like you kind of boost morale that way. You wouldn't want to work with somebody you hate, right?
Right. But I mean, you're doing a lot of stuff with Tom. I see you here. You You had a Slamsgiving roast battle. Are you pretty good? Are you guys pretty good at roasts, or are you just kind of putting this stuff together like a Matt Maron would?
I have never been to a Matt Maron show, so I can't really comment. But we just do that during Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving time. We have one set up for November 7th. So just like the same recipe for disaster I gave you before, where you have personal friends battling each other. Like Tom and I are very close friends. I'd say he's my best friend. He and I have battled each other 2 times. And the first time was a very close match. The second match, I just got freaking slobber knockered. It was, but it definitely humbles you in a sense. Like, okay, like I could probably do this better, and at least when you face defeat from your friend, you at least have like a sense of maybe I should take this into account, be more prepared later, blah 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 blah. So it's it's a good learning experience. It's pretty fun. I'm going into my 6th one this November 7th for Slamsgiving 2. We have Tom battling another Long Island comic. His name is Andrew Bergen.
Okay.
And they've battled each other once. Andrew won.
Wow.
Devin Bramble versus Stan Talui 2. And Devin actually beat Stan at the last Slamsgiving. Brittany Cardwell versus Claire Alexander. They're very close friends. They do drone comedy.
Yeah, my lord, you're pitting the friends against each other. My gosh.
Yeah, I feel as though it's going to be a much better product. You have to kind of like love each other first, and then you'll know each other much more. And I think I have one more. Carla Sardonil and Audrey Mora. They're battling each other as well. So that it should come up with some sort of intrigue.
Yeah. So Matt Maron is Comedy Fight Club, and he said something like that, where it's like there has to be some empathy there to be funny at all. Like you have to remain human. He said something like Mel Gibson has never said anything funny in his life. He's just a, anti-Semitic motherfucker, and so you can't just go and just fucking Sid Vicious on somebody. It's not going to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And then so Tom Crescenzo also does the you are not one of the hosts of Podcast Orange though, right?
Negative.
Okay.
Well, Tom and I and Jack were trying to figure out what to do in terms of a podcast over the quarantine. Tom and I actually tried to do something called the Slamcast.
Okay.
And we recorded about like 13 or 14 episodes, but I find myself to be the weirdest type of person when it comes to digesting what I say. Like a lot of the times I just feel like we either said something that's too crude or something that's just like too racy. So I feel like probably now is not the time for a podcast yet, but we have like 13 episodes, 14 episodes on deck, but
Okay.
we've done nothing with them.
Okay. So you're thinking COVID is not the time to bust out your crudest material on a podcast.
I don't know, man. I feel like being a podcaster is sort of weird. Like, I don't even like podcasts. Like, I don't even listen to any of my friends' podcasts. But there are a couple of podcasts that I have enjoyed a lot during the quarantine, like Tres Beches. They have, Shadi Diaz, you have Jess Clayton, and you have Trina Alper. And they're all so unique, but they bring something to the table, and it's all laughable. They're just talking about themselves. Like, I just feel weird as soon as you put like a recording symbol on the screen and then whatever you say there.
Are you no longer Manny Cruz once the record starts hitting, or no?
That's where it kind of gets awkward for me. I never really know how to act. It's like, should I talk like this, or should I just be like whatever I am right now?
Yeah. Well, you're the only Manny Cruz I give a shit about. Let me tell you that. And then as far as the comedy video that you guys did, that was fucking hilarious. Where you had Tom Crescenzo as just escaped a prison inmate or something. And you moved back into your house, and you're like, yeah, it's been a little awkward with Tom. It stresses me out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that we all just got really stoned with Dom LaMarca, and usually it's in his garage. And we were talking about that video, like how do we go about it? And then Tom's like, I'll just be a convict, and grungy ass voice, and yeah, we just took maybe 2 to 3 hours and just filmed all of that. It was just like something for fun.
Yeah. And so what kind of stuff is making its way into your act, without burning material, without telling jokes, what kind of stuff you're talking about on stage? Is it all from your life or is it observational things that you're seeing around you?
Mm, I lost about 270 recordings I made last year,
Okay.
so I had to start from scratch.
Okay.
So as of now, I think, a lot of my things that I talk about are, observational. I try not to get too political.
Okay.
So that's something that I strove for in the past, but I just feel like it's pretty hacky at this point. If you're gonna say it differently.
Yeah.
But ideas don't necessarily have a licensor or it's free. It's free for everyone to kind of share. But I think whatever comes from pain, whatever comes from your experience, whatever made you laugh about it, I think that's probably going to make someone else laugh about it.
Yeah, and is it, so you probably had to toss a lot, it's those 270 recordings that kind of bit the dust, could have been for the best if you were observational, because a lot of that stuff is just dated now because of COVID, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, can you even, is COVID even hacky? You say politics are hacky, and of course I agree, and everything's going to change when the election comes, but is there any any angle on COVID that can be funny and fresh on stage, and you won't worry it's going to become dated in about 5 seconds?
It's still relevant. It's going to be relevant for a long time. I don't know. Maybe it won't be hacky when they kind of pull the rug from underneath America's feet and just go like, yeah, well, that vaccine not going to happen now. So I feel like some comedian's going to be really mad. He or she probably had COVID for like, twice or thrice, and they just want to get this episode out of the picture now. So
Yeah.
maybe their story might be more relevant than somebody like me who never had COVID. Or I don't know. I have nothing to say. I mean, I lost like two cousins, but I don't
Oh
know
my
if any of
Lord.
that can be funny. But we never got along, so like maybe.
That's a fresh spin, I think. I'd like to hear your take on that. Like,
Well,
yeah, well, I did lose cousins, but we didn't get along. I hated them. So like that would just be interesting to hear. Okay, well, what are your conflicting thoughts on that? Like you're not as sad as you could be, and that kind of makes you feel a little bit oh, maybe I should feel more, it's guilty. I feel guilty that I'm not more sad.
what makes me pretty guilty about not being more sad about COVID with one of my cousins is he told me to go fuck myself at my birthday party,
Okay.
and I was like 17. And when he died of COVID, I was like, okay, looks like God told you to go fuck yourself. And and like I told that to his brother, and he was just like, bro, this is not the time or the place. I was,
It was at his
uh,
funeral, huh?
it was that is no. Well, I mean, I waited. There's definitely a joke for everything,
Yeah, I
but
waited. Yeah, what's the proper waiting period before you tell that to his brother? Well, I waited a couple days. I waited a couple days, and then I fucking told his brother that.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, like my family's so dysfunctional. Like, we
Okay.
love each other and hate each other. With every holiday, we love each other. After the holiday, we just freaking hate one another. But I feel as though COVID kind of helped out our family a lot. Like now we have a logical excuse as to why we shouldn't be together.
You don't feel
Before,
bad. Yeah, you don't feel bad for not visiting them because you're not giving each other COVID.
yeah, there's more than just a bridge that separates the Bronx and Long Island. That's all I have to say.
It's are you one of these families that kind of in these big family gatherings you all get a little bit happy and drunk and you guys kind of tell it like it is and that can be a problem?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like a 60-40.
Okay.
Yeah,
60-40, 60 alcohol and 40 I hate their guts.
correct. Yeah.
It's yeah. What's the next comedy product? I mean, what was your experience doing the video? The inmate video with Crescenzo and crew, and what did that teach you about? Okay, that was worth our time, or that was not worth our time. Here's what we're gonna do with the next video.
We just did that, just to have like a certain promo for the reject chef who's hungry, and that's Chris Deshawn's brand. So we kind of thought about, splitting that lineup in half and then, helping him launch a product.
Okay.
And now we're working on Slamsgiving 2 together. So it's going to be Slamsgiving 2 Who's Hungry. It's going to sound like a film basically, but we're the flyer itself is going to be very interesting. I'm not going to disclose the concept yet, but when it comes out, it's going to be something. It took us a little while to figure it out, but I'm excited. So there's going to be a new video for that. Laz Rivero is hosting that show, so we might get a video together, the four of us. My girlfriend Anna Vasquez, very talented filmmaker. She's usually the person behind the camera, and without her, I don't think you'd be talking about it, to be honest. Because if you had left it to Tom, wow.
And so Reject Chef, he's just a fellow comedian who and you're helping him with his comedy videos, and he's jumping on your shows, etc. He's helping organize your great Slamsgiving coming up.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he's one of my close friends, Chris Deshawn, who kind of created that character, the Reject Chef, and I don't know who exactly Cliff is per se, but I think that's an interview you guys need to have.
Yes.
He's a very funny guy. He edits film, so he edited everything Anna shot, and then the next day we had a product. So it was
that's the kind of comedy friends you need, man. The ones who just fucking do that work all night long, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, like I have plenty of friends in Long Island, trust me, that go like, yeah, bro, we're gonna shoot this video. Shit's gonna be dope. and they all sound like Long Island douchey bagel shoppers. You know what I'm saying? Like the atypical deli guy. And they're all greasy, and they just go like, "Yo, bro, fucking this video when it's shot, done. 3 months later, we have a product," and then it's like not exactly what's promised. So I guess I got lucky with the friends I have.
Yeah,
they work hard.
Yeah, you probably gravitated towards the people with work ethic and hilarity. It's not enough just to have one. You need to be funny and hardworking.
Yeah, I mean, after all, this is a job. You have to show up on time. You have to do what you got to do. It doesn't necessarily have the same prerequisites, but I think like whatever you do at your 9 to 5 needs to be applied here, because you're still in front of people no matter what, dealing with people, trying to keep people in tune with what you're doing.
But I just love the fact that you say when the recording button goes on, it's like, yeah, Manny Cruz doesn't know how to talk. I mean, it seems like you talk pretty well and you're pretty fucking funny. So we follow you everywhere. You're Manny Cruz across all social media. Slam Comedy's coming up. I think this episode will be out by then, and Slam Comedy is on October 24th, and there is a location at the Eventbrite screen. And then Slamsgiving is coming out November 7th.
Yes, sir.
Dude, fuck yeah, Manny Cruz. Thank you so much for coming on.
Brian, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.